We're back.
Thank you very much for joining us, everybody. We're here for part 4 of Salt of the Streets podcast.
Grab bag time.
That's right. It's time for the grab bag. Of course, you've been watching us here on our YouTube. We also have our Instagram and our Patreon over at Salt of the Streets. You can find all this, saltofthestreets.com. Go to the Patreon, subscribe. Help us make more, better content just like this. We have the newsletter, the book club, the beer shows, all the things. It's fantastic, right?
That's right.
Review previews, all the things. So
all the things.
Yes. And with that, Lexi Kyle on Twitch if you want to watch some gaming. So Colin, just went and picked up the stick skis. They're there.
Let me put them on your cam so you can get close. Boom.
They're there.
There's the vinyl stick skis.
These are the vinyls.
That's right.
$5. I'll mail it to you.
So that's all. That's what you get. You just get the actual vinyl. There's none of that stupid, back. There's no big block sticker. There's no nothing. It's legit just the logo vinyl.
Nope.
Sticks to anything.
You peel this part off, you hit it with a credit card.
That's all you need.
Part off. That's it.
That's all you need.
We got t-shirts, we got lady sizes, we got men's sizes, we got all the things.
All the things.
And we've been making them for a long time. So
we can even fit them to the there's thems.
That is true.
Not that you'd be watching the show, but if you are.
T-shirts for everybody. So with that, the first thing I want to talk about is fucking Subway, right? So
let's talk about Subway,
dude.
I've
lost a little bit of my heat about it because it's been a few weeks, but I'm still I feel the exact same way about it, right? So let me send you the article that I have here.
Please.
I have 2 articles. There's one from fucking Subway itself, where they had their own social media thing. It's from the Subway newsroom, right? So let's see here. I'll send this to you really quick. I'll send you the other one as well. Okay, Subway newsroom, and then of course there's this. This New York Post one goes into some of the numbers. So
interesting.
All right, this is from the fucking Subway newsroom, right? Because apparently Subway has a newsroom, and this says. Milford, Connecticut, July 21st, 2022. After debuting the Subway series, the 12 best and most craveable sandwiches in company history, Subway is offering 9 of its biggest fans a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to make this all-star lineup a permanent part of their history in more ways than one. On July 27th from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m., Subway is hosting a block party in Las Vegas at Bad Apple Tattoo, where 9 superfans can get a real tattoo of the Subway Series logo from 2-time Ink Master champion DJ Tombe or a member of his team. Depending on the size and location of the tattoo, fans can earn subs for a month for a 2x2 tattoo on the wrist, bicep, or foot. Subs for a year for a 3x3 tattoo on shoulder blade, forearm, or calf. Subs for life. The foot-long, a 12x12 tattoo on sternum or back. Right? That's your chest. Your sternum is your fucking chest.
Yes.
Tattoos hold a special meaning for my customers. They come to me to celebrate the things they love the most or to commemorate a major moment in their lives. DJ Tom. Okay, fuck you, right?
I'm going to show you this right here. It's going to really piss you off. Let's put you right
God
in the mood.
Fucking damn it.
There it is.
Okay.
There it is, bro.
Okay. So let's talk about the monetary value of what this is, right? So the person who gets the full-long tattoo will receive a one-time payment of $50,000 worth of gift cards. Worth of gift cards!
Gift cards.
Worth of gift cards. Where's my last comment that you guys see? The last comment that I see from you, Joseph, says, say it with a Chinese accent,
please.
That's the last thing that it says that you said. I'm telling you, YouTube don't like us. No.
Getting in the live stream comments, bro?
The others will receive a $372 gift card for 1 month and a $4,380 gift card for the year. Okay.
Oh, here's the picture of it in action. At
best... Right? You got $50,000 worth of Subway gift cards. The second level is less than $5,000 worth. Okay. Subway is great. I guess people like Subway. I'm not a huge cold cut guy, so it is what it is. It doesn't really matter, right? We're talking about $50,000 in sandwiches, right? In sandwiches. We talk consistently on this show about people's property rights, right? Personal property. Your property rights are very, very important. It's an extremely important right that you have. They are SBU. You're
gonna have to pontificate a little further on that one, big guy.
Shadow banning.
Shadow
banning us.
Yeah, well,
surprise.
Hey.
I told you Facebook won't take our money.
Yeah.
I know that. Yeah, no, I know that.
Subway's got a better deal than us, man. They're getting people with tattoos.
I'm telling you,
them.
Share the videos. I know that. Share the videos.
Yeah. Where's all your friends, Joseph?
Yes.
Where's all your friends?
I know that we're being shadow banned. I know that. You gotta help us out. You gotta help us. And my comments. Yeah, 100%.
Oh, yeah.
I don't doubt it. Maybe we'll see them after we post the stream and everything, but I wouldn't bet on it.
That's troubling to me. I didn't know they could actively subdue comments in a live stream like that. I didn't know that.
Doesn't surprise
Doesn't
me.
surprise me, but for fuck's sakes, man.
Share the videos. Yes. These are the options that we have. Share the videos.
Yeah, we can only do so much at the end of the day, which we'll get back to Subway in a minute. It's very, very, it's taxing, man. It's this whole deal is taxing. We've been doing this for a lot of years at this point, and to have some fucking institutionalized oppression put upon us, and then to hear about it every goddamn day from other people that are definitely not institutionally oppressed, it is really bothersome, because not even the own people that come here and sit through our own fucking 6-7 hour goddamn live streams, I can't even see all their goddamn chats.
Can't even say whatever they want.
That is so frustrating to me, and I'm sure to you, because we both put in, this is our life. This is what we do. You guys don't see it most of the time because we're only here every other week doing the show. But man, like, we do this every single day on top of everything else that we do.
We devote an enormous amount of time to this.
It's a lifestyle choice, is what we got to say. But it is so hard for me to hear that not even the comments in our fucking live stream are coming through.
So
at least I'm not getting a Subway fucking tattoo on my back.
So we're not. When I show you these things, we're not trying to extract money from you.
No, man.
Right? We're not. The point of these things is to separate ourselves from this. Right? This is why I'm showing you the stickers. This is why I'm talking about t-shirts. This is why I'm talking about Patreon. And so I'm asking you to share the videos so more people can see them, because they're not showing up in the recommendations. They don't show up on Instagram unless we fucking pay them.
Yep.
Right? And even then, we get fucking shit-ass hate comments the entire time. So, which is fine. Comments are comments. I'm not mad at it. It is what it is, because other people have come to defend us in those comments, right?
Yep.
So I'm not mad at it. But this is why I say these things to you. It's not because I want to make money. Right? If I wanted to make money, I would not do the show anymore, because it fucking costs me money to do it, right? If I wanted to make money right now, I would stop doing the show and I would work
a good
every other
financial
Saturday.
investment.
It costs me money. I drive out to fucking Hansville. It takes me an hour to get here. I spend money at the gas station. I do all these things, right? If I want to stop doing the show, we would stop doing it. If we wanted to make money, we would stop doing the show. We don't. We want to provide this information because you are here and you recognize how valuable this is. You recognize that we're trying to provide you factual information that will lead you to a freer and more liberty-based lifestyle, because that's what we want for ourselves, and we know that that's what everybody really wants for themselves at the core. So
that's pro-America.
All we can ask,
it's an American concept, a liberty-based lifestyle.
All we can ask, all we can do is ask you to share the videos, sign up to the Patreon so you can see the other things, because we also have other content on there, like we have the writings and stuff.
It'll be a while before we get banned off Patreon. It'll be a while.
But by that time, we'll have our own subscription-based system that will be separate from that. It will be fine. But we need your help to get there. That's the only way that this gets done, is for you guys to help us. So
the easiest way to do it, it's free. Just to share it. Share it. That's the big deal, man.
Like it. You've already commented 9 million times, so you've already done that.
You're here, man.
Share it.
You guys are here, which it helps make the show better.
Yeah, not to Facebook though, because apparently that won't work.
Apparently.
We'll do it anyway, but but yeah, that's it. It's bad. And
thankfully, Instagram has a nice, easy cross post, so you just click a button, and then you don't have to worry about it.
He said, "I'm mad. I've made excellent comments that are being banned. I fucking bet. I fucking bet." No, you're on fire today. You're
absolutely
on fire today.
You should wash your truck more often.
Yeah, I don't doubt it.
Seems to be the key.
The beers, the truck, I'm here for it. I like it. I know. Fucking find us on Instagram. Send us comments. I want to know what you said. Hit me up in the DMs, bro.
Yeah, man. You do a very good job, I should say. You do a very good job. You curate our Instagram feed for the Salt of the Streets Instagram. Our stories are just beautiful. I love our story feed. It's fantastic. Thanks to you.
Curating the fuck out of that.
That's right. That is your life.
So, yes,
Subway.
I agree with you, Joseph. Share the videos. Tell people about what we're doing. Yes,
that's right.
Subway. Okay, so we talk about personal property. We talk about how valuable and intrinsic this is to you. Your body, your bodily autonomy in your body is the most valuable property that you have.
Yeah, man. That was our entire narrative during the vax mandate stuff.
At a core level,
bodily autonomy.
At a core level, it saddens me to see that this many people see such little inherent value in their bodies themselves. Listen, I was commenting during my alcohol hiatus as well. So no, you were 100%. I remember that. You were 100%. So it bothers me at a human level to think that there are people who value their bodies so little that they'll sell pieces of it off for $372 worth of sandwiches, right? And that's very funny, but it's also fucking true that someone sold off a permanent piece of their body for $372 worth of a fucking sandwich.
Forever,
it's not like it's $1 that you can sell. There's a fucking gift card for sandwiches, cookies at best, that you just sold part of your body for. That's dark. This is dark. And I'm not a religious man, so I'm not even going to draw it to like this is disconnection from the Lord or whatever. That's your body.
Yeah, man.
You're going to have that for your whole entire life. From the time you were a baby until the time you're dead. This is the one thing you have. It's your fucking body.
You're going to have
body
that
and your liberty
on your back that says Subway Series 2022.
You just sold a gang of it for permanent advertisement for that company for fucking sandwiches.
Yeah, the same corporation that hired a pedophile for multiple decades.
Like at least the guy who has it on his back will wear a shirt and will hide the whole time. But if you got a tattoo on your bicep or on your forearm, you sold a piece of your body that's permanent ad space for Subway for the rest of your life, and you got $372 worth of sandwiches for permanent ad space on your body.
For a product that isn't even considered on bread in Canada.
It's a fucking sandwich, bro.
Word.
It's a fucking sandwich. You can make a better sandwich at your house.
Yes, you can. You can definitely do that. I'm kind of a shill for Subway, even though I know they're crap. But it's kind of like...
it is what it is.
It is what it is, right?
Yeah.
Like, the product itself is almost not even... The product itself is not in question here. It's the fact that you're willing to sell your body to a corporation.
Yes.
To become their permanent advertisement for life, for a minute amount of monetary compensation that isn't even actual monetary compensation. It's compensation in kind through a product.
For a sandwich.
Not
even like a goods product. You know,
yeah.
The only
not a healthy product.
I still would not agree with this. The only way that it would begin to make sense is if you're getting money or property in perpetuity, because it's permanent ad space for the life of Subway as a company. There is going to be a 2x2 ad on a piece of your body forever.
Yeah.
Every time that guy goes to a pool or to the fucking beach or to anywhere that he's going to take his shirt off, people will say, "Oh, fucking Subway."
How about
maybe
at
I'll
night
get
when he goes to bed and his wife sees it?
That's what I'm saying, right?
Or his kids see it when he's walking around the house and it's hot out.
You're literally a walking permanent advertisement for a sandwich company.
Yeah, bro.
And
fucking
your body is worth more than that. Your body is worth more than $50,000 of sandwiches. It is. I promise. Even that guy, I don't care what you look like. I don't care how disgusting you are. I don't care anything. Your body's worth more than $50,000 worth of sandwiches.
Word.
You are, because you're a human being. Your inherent worth is more than $50,000 worth of sandwiches.
You talked about that recently with the value of a human life being more than $3.7 million or something like that recently, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
we're not even close to that level already. You're a couple grand, maybe.
And it's sandwiches. It's not even dollars. They're sandwiches. You can only buy sandwiches with it. Sandwiches and cookies and sodas. That's all you use. Chips. That's all you can buy with it.
Maybe an apple. You know, or is that Panera? That's a Panera thing, isn't it?
You can't
even get an apple at Subway.
It's fucking Subway or Sun Chips. That's what you can get at Subway. Sun Chips.
I do love some Sun Chips.
So it's not good. This makes me sad.
There's a fantastic TV show that Dan Harmon made before he made.
Is it the F word that does it? It might be fuck.
That
might be it.
I don't know.
I say fuck an awful lot, though. I wouldn't
you
expect
sure do.
that would
but
be.
I would imagine it's different because you're typing in the chat. But
maybe. That might be it.
Deborah sees it. I sees it. Why don't I see it? Man, so now they're not even coming
moderating our own comments?
Are we? I don't know. Can I click a button? Let's click a button. Participants, timestamp. Oh, toggle timestamps. I didn't know I could do that. Pop out chat. I didn't know I could do that either. Top chat. Oh, wait. Now let's go full view real quick.
There you go.
Live chat.
There we go.
Hey. Wow. Garrett, what is up?
Let's see.
Maybe.
YouTube is shadow. Yeah, go down. There, yeah.
Go down?
YouTube is shadow banning you two. Why else would you have 145 subscribers and 5 people that know that comment live?
Word.
Your views are so low that there could be any other explanation. And
Right?
my comments, I guess, is bad. It's disgusting. I'm mad. Yeah, keep going up. Let's see what the fuck. Fuck Subway. Yeah, okay.
Fuck Subway.
Yeah.
Bro.
Oh.
So what is this?
Yeah,
It was set to top chats.
Oh,
What's the difference with this? The only chat.
Such as potential spam may not be visible.
Oh, I
Wow.
fucking hate everybody so much right now.
Well, I apologize for that, Joseph. That's
Yeah.
Yes, we were.
Well, yeah, thanks, Deborah. Thanks
Yes,
for teaching
we
me how
were.
YouTube works.
Yeah,
I
We-
fucking hate all
not
this
been here
shit.
for a long time or anything.
There we go.
But that's what we get. So
That's what we get.
now we can see everything.
Yay!
Around here. This is BS. There it is.
Amen. We'll take that one.
The fact still matters. Like, as you said, subscribers viewed all these things, right?
Yeah.
Still stands.
There you go.
The comments was our own mistake.
That's what I'm
that I
wondering.
will
What
own.
else have I been missing
The
now?
comments was our own mistake. But as far as the views, the followers, the things like that,
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
I would chalk that up to the exact same thing.
Yeah, because there's nothing we can do about that, really.
Yeah.
You know, there's the whole game to be played with like tags and whatnot, but that's arguable at best. You could,
Yeah.
It's hilarious because there's a series. YouTube is such a weird place, right? There's little niches of content that exist out there, and there's a whole niche out there about people that don't get the traction that you feel you should be, or you don't have the subscribers you feel you should be because of XYZ reason. And unfortunately, you start to listen to those things, and it's a whole lot of like, "Whoa, woe is me, my channel's fucking awesome," but really, and then you go look at their content and go, "Well, it's not that awesome."
Right.
And so I never like to go down those roads to assume that it's not something that we aren't responsible for ourselves. You know what I mean? Like, I can't go down that road to just say the reason I'm being oppressed is because the man's oppressing me. It's not because of flaws in what I'm doing, or the fact that we're a small fish in a very large ocean. That's just the world that is. So
Right.
I never concern myself with that really, and I just push forward and move on, because what else are you going to do, right? You always got to move forward. You just got to keep moving forward. And oh, you mean the narcissist? Yes, I mean the narcissist. Thank you. The only reason I'm seeing that now is probably because I just changed the setting, thanks to Deborah. So to close out this grab bag subject, you're not into the Subway
No.
promotion at all.
It makes me very sad.
The point I was making, actually, I started on earlier. There's a TV show made, Dan Harmon did before he did Rick and Morty, called Community. And if you have not
Yes.
seen it, it is one of the greatest shows ever made.
Yes.
If you guys have not seen Community, it's so good.
It's just like that.
It is just like that, because there
It's
was a
just
character
like
that
that.
comes in for a season or two, and his name is Subway, because he has signed over he's contractually signed over the rights to his entire life.
It's even worse.
To be, it is slightly above getting a tattoo, but it also sticks with you for life. And so he goes into this community college, and his name is Subway, and he's there to promote Subway sandwiches. Dan Harmon has become reality. Now, hopefully, somebody will invent a portal gun, and Rick and Morty will also become reality.
And that's where we are.
Boom.
Okay, let's get a little bit more serious. Let's talk about.
Let's do it. We're working on 5 beers here, so how can we do this?
Let's talk about Breonna Taylor. So we talked about Breonna Taylor a
bring
long time
down the
ago.
room.
Yeah,
Let's
we're
do
doing it. We're doing it. We're getting serious again. We're talking about Breonna Taylor. We talked about Breonna Taylor when it first happened during George Floyd and all this type of shit, right? So the very base background of this is that Breonna Taylor was the subject of a no-knock raid at her house in which she was murdered, she was killed, her boyfriend was shot, and he returned fire at some of the police officers that were there. There then became a huge public case, right, in which the police officers alleged that she was having drugs mailed to her house and was involved in like this trafficking ring. And now we find out, this is an article from, let's see, CNBC. I'll send you this one, and then we can go from there. I'll read it. Let's see. Salty Boys.
Yeah, because there's been an alternative narrative that I've picked up recently about this specific situation in which Breonna Taylor has been labeled a drug dealer.
Yes. So this is from CNBC, and this says a former Louisville police detective who helped falsify the warrant that led to the deadly police raid at Breonna Taylor's apartment has pleaded guilty. They said pleaded to. has pleaded guilty to the federal conspiracy charge. Federal investigators said Kelly Goodlet added a false line in the warrant and later conspired with another detective to create a cover story when Taylor's March 13, 2020 shooting death by police began gaining national attention.
It's a tense thing. It's a tense thing. They're speaking in the present tense, pleaded, versus if you were talking in the past tense, we pled.
Okay.
So even though they are in the present tense, they're speaking to something that historically happened, so it's pleaded guilty.
That's
perhaps.
Fucking weird.
Not an English teacher.
Taylor, a 26-year-old black woman, was shot to death by officers who knocked at her door. Knocked down her door while executing a drug search warrant. Taylor's boyfriend fired a shot that hit one of the officers as they came through the door, and they returned fire, striking Taylor multiple times. Goodlet, 35, appeared in a federal courtroom in Louisville on Tuesday afternoon and admitted to conspiring with another Louisville police officer to falsify the warrant. Goodlet briefly answered several questions from federal judge Rebecca Jennings Grady. Taylor's mother, Tamika Palmer, was in the courtroom Tuesday but did not speak out of the proceedings. 3 former Louisville officers were indicted on criminal civil rights charges earlier this month by a federal grand jury. Goodlet was not indicted, but charged in a federal information filing, which likely means the former detective is cooperating with investigators. Goodlet will be sentenced November 22nd. Grady said there will be extenuating circumstances that may move the court to push back the sentencing date. Part of the plea hearing was also kept under seal and was not discussed in open court Tuesday. She faces up to 5 years in prison for the conviction. She resigned from the department August 5th, a day after the U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland announced a new federal charges in the Taylor case. Former officers Joshua James and Kyle Meany were indicted on charges related to the warrant used to search Taylor's home. A third former officer, Brett Hankinson, was charged with using excessive force when he retreated from Taylor's door, turned a corner, and fired 10 shots into the side of her 2-bedroom apartment. She was acquitted into somebody else's house, by the way. They went through the wall into somebody else's house. He was acquitted by a jury on similar state charges earlier this year. James, Meany, and Hankinson have all been fired. The 3 former officers face a maximum life sentence of life in prison if convicted on civil rights charges. Federal prosecutors said in court records that James, who drew up the Taylor warrant, had claimed to Goodlet days before the warrant was served that he had, quote-unquote, verified from a postal inspector that a suspected drug dealer was receiving packages at Taylor's apartment. But Goodlet knew this was false and told James the warrant did not yet have enough information connecting Taylor to criminal activity, prosecutors said. She added a paragraph saying the suspected drug dealer, Jamarcus Glover, was using Taylor's apartment as his current address, according to the court records. 2 months later, when the Taylor shooting was attracting national headlines, the postal inspector told a media outlet he had not verified packages for Glover were going to Taylor's apartment. James and Goodlet then met in James' garage to get on the same page before James talked to the investigators about the Taylor warrant, court records said.
Bro.
They decided to say Sergeant John Mattingly, who was identified in the court records as JM, told them Glover was receiving packages at Taylor's home, according to prosecutors. Mattingly was shot in the leg during the raid at Taylor's apartment. Meany, who signed up on the Taylor warrant and was still Louisville police sergeant when he was indicted on August 4th, was fired by Louisville Police Chief Erica Shields on Friday. Shields said in a statement that Meany has not yet had his case heard by jury, but he is facing multiple federal charges after a lengthy investigation by the DOJ and should not expect continued employment after such conditions. Hankinson was the only officer charged who was on the scene the night of the killing.
Good Lord. Dude. Okay, so to answer Deborah's question. So the boyfriend wasn't a drug dealer?
No. The
Not
boyfriend was not. No, her ex-boyfriend, because she did have relations to whatever Jamarcus Glover, I think his name was. She did date him at one point in time, but there is no evidence that he was receiving packages. And this is why I meant to talk to Zeke about this, because he sent us like the PowerPoint of the evidence that they used to prepare this whole deal. And all of this was laid out in there, right? But all of that shit was a lie.
Yep.
So they said that her ex-boyfriend was receiving drugs at her apartment when he never lived there. There was no evidence that he lived there and no evidence that he was receiving packages there.
And they fucking said that, once again, this postal inspector comes up again. This goddamn...
That's got to be the
what is happening?
Maybe the third time tonight.
The mail is not safe.
And you brought it up totally unsolicited.
I know.
I didn't know that was going to be brought up at all tonight.
No, that's just kind of happenstance. But no, Deborah, the boyfriend at the time, the guy that was that shot the cop and who
totally law-abiding citizen,
totally fine,
legally owned the AR-15 that he used, everything, all on the up and up.
Yep,
he got released that same night because he shot someone trying to break into his house.
Yeah,
he got released the same fucking day.
Yep, which thank goodness,
certainly,
yeah.
As he fucking should.
Amen. Shouldn't have been hemmed
up.
Blindly
10 rounds into your house. Yeah, fuck them.
Jesus, man. Unbelievable. I'm glad that some of these people are getting a little bit of accountability, though. This is good. It's not going to change the system as a whole, obviously. The no-knock business is still going gangbusters, but it's still nice to be able to see a little bit of accountability on something like this. You know?
Yes.
It is. The officer that was shot was on IRL, and his story was different from what the media was saying. Yeah, that's true. Actually, I don't think I actually saw that episode. I need to go back and rewatch that episode.
I have not watched
because,
it. Yeah, we'll
I know,
have to watch it.
because they mentioned before. I remember Tim mentioning the fact that he was on there. I know the
check that out.
The Drinking Bro guys have talked to him and have had him on their show. So I need to check both of those out because I would be interested as well. And honestly,
100%.
And it's also important to remember that this guy that's on the team that breaks down the door and goes in there is not necessarily attached to the people that set up the no-knock warrant and for that team to go in there. I mean, this is a separate team that goes in. These are separate people necessarily from the people that meet in the garage and have all these clandestine meetings about, you know, saying that the postal inspector did this thing when he did not, and kind of framed the entire situation.
And this article from CNBC says
it's been a while. I don't remember all the details.
2 months later, when the Taylor shooting was attracting national headlines, the postal inspector told a media outlet he had not verified packages for Glover were being sent to Taylor's apartment. Janes and Goodlett, 2 of the officers, then met in Janes's garage to quote-unquote get on the same page before Janes talked to investigators about the Taylor warrant. They decided to say Sergeant John Mattingly, who is identified in the court records as JM, told them Glover was receiving packages at Taylor's home, according to prosecutors. Mattingly was shot in the leg during the raid at Taylor's apartment. So there's nothing to say that he wasn't just fucking pinned for this in their collusion. They're making up of a story. What the fuck am I? There's a word that I'm trying to come up with, but they
conspiracy.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and their
conspiracy.
Conspiracy. I don't know.
Conspiration.
Conspiratorial behavior, right? He's caught in their conspiracy. He could just be in the corner of that. There's nothing to say that he was involved in any of this at all, other than the fact that he was there on the day. And if you're called in for the raid, you're called in for the raid, right? And if you weren't involved in the actual investigation, but you're there for the raid, then you're doing what you're being told to do. And I'm not like, oh, he's fucking told what to do, right? You're a police officer, you do what you do. But I'm speaking to the fact that his case, what he's saying could be true, and this could be true because
all at once.
This doesn't implicate him in what's going on other than the raid itself, which is a separate issue really from this.
I highly doubt the investigators doing the investigating are the ones breaking down the door.
Right.
That doesn't seem to be the same bailiwick as the...
This says that Hankinson was the only officer who was charged that was on the scene the night of the killing. So there was only one of the people during the investigation that was actually on the scene during. So...
And that's so fucked up when you think about it too. Like you got these other unsuspecting people that think they're breaking down the door and they're gonna, hem up some fucking drug dealer that's been doing this thing, and they're just doing their job and they get involved in this shooting situation. Somebody gets hemmed up, somebody gets killed.
Joseph, here's the deal.
That's rough, man.
This week, Colin and I are going to watch this episode of IRL. Find us on Instagram, and we will message with you about this. I thought he said they did knock and did announce themselves as police, but came certain. And I wouldn't be surprised if he said that. There seems to be a lot of like this doesn't say that it's a no-knock warrant, so that could be my own. That could be me.
I believe the warrant itself was no knock, but if I remember correctly, they did it anyways. Yeah,
which is fine. And
again, if you do that in the middle of the night, that doesn't change anything. Somebody knocks on my door at 2 a.m. I'm not going to be coherent enough to understand what's going on by the time I grab my gun and get in front of the fucking door.
Which would explain why they were taking cover and they're shooting at the fucking door.
I literally had a nightmare about this last week. And the police were in my house, and they were breaking down the door of my bedroom before I was able to respond in my nightmare.
My point to that, my only counterpoint to that, Joseph, would be that may very well be true, which is fine if that is true. This is no way that the law enforcement should be dealing with people they don't have evidence are violent. Right? This is not any way to be dealing with a private citizen in the middle of the fucking night. This is no way to be dealing with an American citizen. This is not how this should be done.
No, man.
When a fucking raid force goes to your house with multiple automatic firearms and they knock down your fucking door, like it says in this article, they knock down your fucking door.
Oh.
This is not how this should be done.
No.
Right?
It is better than 100 guilty men go free than one innocent man be hemmed up.
So I don't disagree with you. My point would be fuck them. is at the end of the day. So
yeah, there's a couple levels when you hit that, right? Because there's the level of what actually happened and the reality of the situation. Then there's also the reality of, like, well, the way it should be.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. My dogs will greet you. My dog will not greet you because she is basically deaf at this point.
You will be met by green tip 223 rounds coming out of the end of my fucking 16-inch. That is what you'll be met with.
That makes me rethink my immediate response weapon and the ammo that's in the magazine. I feel like I should probably get away from the standard ball round that's in there and go with something a little bit more interesting.
So,
love my dogs. Best doorbell. Yeah, doorbell. Yeah. Defense system? Not in my house.
3 magazines loaded with green tip. And I keep one of them in the safe with the rifle. I keep one of them in my rifle bag, and then usually I keep one of them in my plate carrier when it's at home, and I'll take it out when I go to the range. So
this is interesting, just as an aside, because I feel like we're kind of done with this story. Your first response weapon, the one that you keep within an arm's reach of you,
is my pistol.
Is your pistol?
Yeah.
What kind of ammunition? You just keep
hollow points.
Hollow points.
I have I just keep this same hollow point magazine in here when it's at home.
Okay. Yeah, because I feel like I'm not trying to get my AR up and ready at the moment's notice. It's like I rely on the sidearm.
And that's why there's different levels of readiness, right? So that's why I have one with the rifle in the safe, so that if there's a situation in which people are knocking on my door, I'm going to grab my rifle and put a magazine of green tip in there. Yeah. If I feel like I have another minute, I'm going to put my plate carrier on, and that has another magazine of green tip in it, plus 2 other magazines of just regular FMJ ball ammunition in there. And so, and usually, not always, usually my belt has a magazine in there too, but it could be empty depending on how prepared I was after I was shooting. But for sure, the green tips, I always have the magazines with green tips in there, and I always have a few magazines loaded up with regular ball ammunition. So, yeah, no, the pistol is the first go-to. The rifle is the second. The plate carrier and everything is the third if I've got time and I feel like I need it.
Yeah. When you because it doesn't take that long to strap on real quick as long as it's at the ready.
No. No, and all of that's just right next to my bed. So that's good. The dog will be the most disturbed of anyone.
Indeed.
That is all.
It's exactly, no one should be presumed guilty regardless. I don't see how they justify night raiding. Catch me in the morning, bro. Amen. Just once the sun comes up, bro. Just come in. You know, your Fed job, you're working that 9 to 5. Come see me at 9:05. That's cool.
It's part of why I keep real bright flashlights on my guns. Real bright flashlights on there. You want to outshine somebody. You want to disorient them.
That's right. And, man, we got the hookup on bright flashlights.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
So
it's a nice hookup.
That's how I handle that.
I like it.
Let's see. The next story that we have here, talking about Subway, Iranian drones. Iran has reportedly sent some drones to Russia. Right?
Yes.
And I've heard there's some issues with these drones yet. I don't totally know about that.
The Russians have a hard time speaking Iranian.
Yeah, that's true. I think the more important theme here kind of goes into what you were talking about in your live stream last night, right? Was the Nord Stream shutdown. The more important theme of all of this is obviously intensifying. This is not cooling down. It's not getting better like we thought it was going to. The lines and the sides are being drawn up more exactly. NATO is pretty clear cut. We know who the NATO countries are. If NATO's involved, those are the countries that are involved. That's how this is going down.
Yeah.
The pro-Russia side was pretty clear at first. Like, China's definitely in this. North Korea is always with China. Russia's involved in there. India is like, we don't really know how we're going to do this, so we're just going to kind of hang out a little bit and see what's going to happen. Okay, Iran is now actually sending drones to Russia. If you want to talk about World War III, this is kind of what that starts to look like to me. When we're more,
I told you I had this out of body experience last.
There was a video Ivan sent me the other day, and it was on my list to get to. I just hadn't gotten there yet, but. It's from
Germany is 100%. This is absolutely
Peter
a fuck about
Zehan.
Germany.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Peter Zehan. Okay. He's like he's been making the rounds lately.
Yeah, he was on Breaking Points and shit.
But he's real big into talking about how the globalist system is essentially collapsing and all this stuff, leading to World War III and whatnot. And he was talking about how there may be a concept here of essentially Russia specifically through the Nord Stream pipeline cutoff, trying to flip Germany in essentially either becoming more neutral in the upcoming chaos or trying to flip to the Russian side.
Oof.
Specifically because Germany...
So gas prices are up 1,000% energy
Yes.
prices. 1,000%.
1,000% overnight like that. I mean, that's... Can
year
you
over
imagine?
year, yes, compared to...
That's your $5 diesel now being $5,000? You can't... Okay, it's done. It's over at that point. You're essentially shutting
and
it
it's
all
not
off.
just that. It's the power for your house. It's
Yes,
power.
it's everything.
Power for everything.
Yeah. Nobody can afford to do that. Nobody can afford to 1,000% increase in energy costs, much less an entire nation. And so his perspective on it is perhaps this is Russia trying to flip Germany in their NATO status to, at the very minimal, a neutral stance in the upcoming
Which will switch.
conflict.
That'll start a shift of other European nations.
It definitely
There
would.
will not be just Germany.
It would be
there are other nations.
Germany.
that
It would be
are winning them.
Lithuania. It would be all the old Balkan states.
How many countries are they reselling energy to?
Were most of Western Europe.
All of those countries.
Yes, and once again, France will be just fucked in the whole deal. And then that's why I did my story yesterday when I did the live stream on the beer show yesterday, talking about all these Western European nations now all of a sudden trying to restart their nuclear energy systems and trying to
Right.
get everything online because they
France has been
know
lagging, yeah.
everybody in Europe has been hardcore for this green
France
policy.
gets like 70% of their nuclear or energy from
Energy.
nuclear, and they've still been fucking around and letting it slip.
They've been down there, and they're now looking at restarting all of their. I think there are 5 nuclear plants that they shut off in the winter. They're going to go full bore back into nuclear during this winter because they know that they can't handle this thing.
It's almost like that's the way to go, or something like that.
It's almost like that.
Yeah.
Especially with the push with the new EV bullshit and all this stuff. Like, you need energy, and right now, if you are reliant on another nation's oil, one that is hostile to you and is willing to literally shut the tap off, or has literally shut the fucking tap off, it's
And they said, we don't know when we're going to open it back up.
And if it was not for you deciding it was time to shut your fucking nuclear reactors down, this would not be a card Putin could play. But you gave it to him because you're a fucking idiot, and you decided to go with the greenies on this thing.
And you try to double down and do it again.
Amen.
You let him build another one.
You're an idiot. I mean,
Everyone told you. Everyone
you were
told
mainlining already. You were mainlining the heroin of fucking Russian oil already. You're like, let's do it again. Let's double down on this effort here, to the point now where all of a sudden Putin goes, we can invade Ukraine and they can't do shit about it. And we're at the you can't do shit about it part. This is not. I'm not prophesizing that there is going to be a World War III. But if we're going to get at that point, this is one of the steps.
That's what the startup would look like.
This is what the startup would look like, because you are making it impossible for Western Europe to have their own energy now, and they have to resort to. And there's gonna be a lag time involved here. We got France has got a bunch of shit down because of maintenance, and they just they shut it down. Let's just mothball this motherfucker. You know, it takes time to get things back up and running. These aren't things they're not built in fucking 2010. These are things that have been around 60s, 70s, 80s.
Long time.
This
Y'all
is
fucked
old
around.
tech, bro. We
Everyone, too.
don't even know how to do this shit anymore. It is up to the West now to really, really, really get their fucking shit together. Texas electric bills did triple. Amen. Well, that's because Texas has got a really fucked up system
That's
going
some
on
wild
right now.
shit.
Texas we remember this during the that big blizzard and shit they had, the harsh winter and all this
Frozen
stuff.
fans.
Yeah,
The harsh winter.
when Ted Cruz be sailing off to Cancun and shit with his
Yeah, that
family.
piece of shit.
Yeah, Texas is an example of like a governmental system that just really wasn't able to let things go, and it's been a weird amalgamation of private and public sector.
Why is Texas...
Because they don't have a public infrastructure system for electricity.
Right, but why would their shit go up? Just because there's more demand
Because it's
for
all
energy around
private.
the globe?
Yes.
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
Well, and because it's fucking hot out. You know,
Right,
and I
okay.
mean, and at the end of the day, if you have these antiquated systems that have been held back through regulation for decades upon decades, there's only so much that these people can do, and so boom,
Word, okay.
Yeah,
and you
it-
got to be so they're invested in the global market, so
They are.
okay, like
But
the companies
again,
themselves.
But
are
it's also
caught up.
and it's important to remember that that private industry. This is a perfect example of why the left, they look at Texas and say, well, this is a good example why private industry for utilities is not a good thing, right? That entire industry, the entire energy infrastructure in Texas has been held back through federal and state regulations for decades at this point. So they have not been able to innovate. They have not been able to thrive and build what it is that they needed to be able to do.
Right.
And so they're dealing with greatly antiquated systems.
But she said we have our own grid. Deborah, you in Texas? I like that shit.
Yeah, if you're in Texas, what's up?
Yeah, you don't have to get too personal,
Yeah.
but if your energy bills are wild, I want to know about
I
it.
want to know about it. Especially, yeah, because Texas, a lot of people look at Texas and that privatization thing as both a good and a negative. She's in Texas. What's up, Deborah? Yee.
Shout out. Washington State sucks.
Amen. K-Pud and PSE all the way, baby. Not really. I hate those people. But yeah, that's the problem. Is you have this one private sector, right? Of something as key to infrastructure as energy,
Yeah.
still being hemmed up by all these EPA regulations, and on top of that, state regulations. And don't act like in Texas you have this amazing. I mean, the former head of the EPA came from Texas, and he was still a fuck up. What was his name? He was big in the 2016 era. Oh God, what was his name? Regardless, so this is an example of what happens to an industry when they're held back by regulation. And what happens then is when the shit hits the fan and they've been held back by decades at this point by this crazy governmental bullshit, the fucking citizens pay the price. Washington
Watch
sucks.
as he bumped that shit. That is true.
Yeah, Rick Perry. Thank you,
That
Deborah.
do
Yeah,
be
Rick
true.
Perry. You remember Rick Perry?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Well, he couldn't even remember the agencies he
Yeah,
wanted
that's
to
right.
cancel.
That's
yes.
Rick Perry was the shit until that one
Rick
debate.
Perry. That was like the first debate that I really watched. You
And
know,
they were like,
that was
all
the
right,
first
let's hit him
cycle.
like a fucking bowling ball.
That
Boom.
was, that was the first cycle that I really watched.
Yeah. Yeah, that was
2016, I was like...
that
this
was
is-
the rise of the T-Dog.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
a couple years out of high school, I was like, yo, this is wild.
Yo, bro.
Politics is crazy, bro.
It is,
And now I'm
man.
just like, yo, fucking abolish the system.
That did not take long.
No.
Mind you, I like to think I had a helping hand in getting you across the
100%.
finish line, but
The guns, absolutely.
yep. Who was first across the line as far as libertarianism, anarchism?
You anarchism for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, you started listening to book and stuff like that before I did, and you were toying with the ideas before I was. You sent me the Michael Malice videos and stuff, so you were toying with it before I was.
For sure.
But I think we're even still a little bit.
I got a new
different
book
spots.
for you, by the way.
No.
I don't know if it's out yet, but there's a guy on the Dave Smith podcast a couple episodes ago. What was his name? Pull it up real quick. I can never remember his name. It's like a normie name. Keith Knight.
Okay.
He his big thing is voluntarism.
Yeah. Okay.
And he put out a book recently called The Voluntarist Handbook as kind of a piggyback to Michael Malice's Anarchist Handbook.
Okay.
And it's the same type of deal. It's a selection of essays and writings and quotes and stuff like that from anarchists and the good kind of libertarians that are essentially anarchists, really, to kind of build off of what Malice started. He thinks Malice built kind of the foundation, and he goes, okay, well, let's take this another step further and built that. I just tried to Amazon the thing and I didn't find it, but it's out there. So as soon as it comes out, I'll let you know because I think
like-
that's going to be a good one.
I like a voluntary tax system. You know what I'm saying?
Word. Yep. A voluntary tax system. I got a my next piece in the Do Not Fear writings that I got going on the Patreon and stuff like that is all about the etymology of these terms that we use: anarchy, anarcho-capitalist, anarcho-communist,
Yeah, that's a good one.
minarchism,
Yeah.
libertarianism, stuff like that, and then tying it back. And then my postscript for that will be, me building off of that with my own thoughts and whatever. But that I think is going to be interesting because all this stuff has got such a bad name. Like the private sector, electrical industry in Texas has got such a bad name at this point. It's because I feel like people have a good misunderstanding of what's behind the news stories, what's behind all the things that you hear about, what led to that situation. A lot of it has to do with government involvement.
Right.
And that's where we end up today. Like all this stuff has to do with government involvement. You didn't build this, we did. Well, actually, all you did was serve to get in our fucking way and give us a bunch of bullshit rules that we had to follow to make the system less reliable.
Right.
And that's why people in Texas froze last year or the year before, whenever the fuck that was. And that's why all that shit's all fucked up. Government fucking involvement. It's why Breonna Taylor's dead. Government involvement. That's why.
I do want to hit on Joseph was talking about the people that are going to die in Europe, right? And that's true. If nothing changes, if they don't fix what they have going on there in Germany, people are 100. They're going to freeze to death in 2022.
Hey,
people are going to freeze to death in their houses in fucking Germany, in a modernized Western nation. People are going to freeze to death in their house.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I don't think there's any way to stop that at this point. If you were to ask me, I think it's long past due, and I think people will freeze to death in their houses. Ooh. I think it'll mostly be elderly people that can't stand like the extreme temperatures and stuff like that. But I don't see how there's not a switch they can flip to make everything come back online. It all takes time. There's a lag time to all of this. So people will die in the near future, and that's going to be used as ammunition, if you will, for increased aggression, increased temperatures to the whole entire situation. It's going to happen.
Right.
All across Europe. It's not just going to be Germany, but it'll be all across Europe. It tain't good, man. It tain't good.
It tain't good.
It tain't good. What up, show dog? You just kind of jumped on my lap. What else do we got in the grab bag, buddy?
The only other things that I had were was the new COVID vaccine, and we talked about that earlier.
Yeah.
We can do quick sports. Obviously, we did our
can do quick sports.
Yeah, sports.
Depending on how long you got. I mean, how long you want to go. We can do.
What do you got?
How much time do you want to go? We got 5:36 right now. Because I imagine between me and you, we can tear this motherfucker's 10 points up real quick.
Yeah, we could probably
do that.
Yeah.
So this stems off of the wonderful tyrannical speech we heard from the president the other day. And the Twitter's just been a buzz with, because you got to remember, most of Twitter is pretty hardcore leftist at this point, and so they're pretty establishment people, and a lot of the visceral spewed on Twitter comes from that ideological point of view. And there was this guy on here, and I don't know if I've really checked him out. Mark Jacob is his name. He's ex-editor at the Chicago Tribune, Sun-Times, now allowed to have opinions, co-author of 8 books on history and photography. Interesting. But he had this nice, lovely tweet thread about how once the speech was done, he decided it was time to tear into the William Schreier's version of the Rise and Fall of the Third Reich, and then he just tore through it. And which, if you've ever tried to undertake that book, you can't tear through that overnight, by the way. It's a massive tome. But he decided to try to make a lot of parallels to what the Nazis did and what the MAGA folks do. And he laid out 10 points through a thread. And just last night, you were tweeting through a few of them, and I looked at them, and just in my head, I was like, okay, well, we can smash this out, every single point on how the current reigning Democratic establishment is worse than the MAGA points that he puts through. So let's do this real quick. Right off the bat, he says, with all the arguments over whether MAGA Republicans are fascist, I reread William Schreier's The Rise and Fall of the Third Reich to see how much the rise of Hitler and the rise of MAGA smell similar. Conclusion, they do. This thread lists 10 ways. Please take a look. All right, so let's take a look here. The first one, point number 1. A big lie about treachery is used to foment resentment. Nazis. We didn't really lose World War I. It was a, quote, stab in the back by Jews and other, quote, November criminals. MAGA, we didn't really lose 2020 election. It was a, quote, steal by politician and blacks in big city. That one I thought was a stretch, by the way, because I'm like,
Yep,
what are you
definitely.
talking about?
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever. I'm pretty sure I live in the world of the right, quote unquote, and I've never heard anybody kind of make that parallel. What do we got here?
She's talking about
mostly
rent
New York
prices.
refugees. Oh yeah,
Florida, Joseph Gear in Florida. I like it. No weed in
The
Florida.
land- yeah.
Well, medical weed, but
land of the free my ass.
Yeah.
Land of the conservative, more like it. So how do you handle that? MAGA, we didn't really lose 2020 election. It was, quote, a steal by politicians and blacks in the big city. All I got to say is Democrats in 2016.
certainly they've made the exact
Done.
same argument. Yeah, and we went over the
Yeah, impeach the motherfucker for it.
right, and we went over the same. That is 100% true. You can leave it at that.
Slightly more intense than anything else that the conservatives have done. All right, number 2. There's an obsession with purity of the culture. Nazis. Racial mixture was a threat by Aryan culture, Hitler wrote. MAGA, quote, Great Replacement Series says immigrants threaten white culture.
The Great Replacement theory is something, to me, it seems very overblown. Like, I've not seen, certainly it's happening, right? But the same way that the Democrats are claiming that, like, critical race theory doesn't exist, and the same way that people are pushing on this fucking drag shows for kids and shit like that.
Yeah.
It's the same type of thing.
That's the Great Replacement
A minority of people that are doing it, and we've talked about the same shit. Yeah, I've not...
The Great Replacement theory, to me, stems from the woke leftist takeover of corporations and small businesses by trying to implement these woke ideologies in every facet of society they can to push everybody else out.
And
I don't think the MAGA people have been doing that.
The issue is not that they seem to have is not with immigrants.
No.
It's with the drugs and crime that does in fact flow over the border, and the strain that it puts on the society when they feel like they're paying an undue burden of taxes on themselves, and they feel like taxation is theft, or any variety of that ideology, or any variety of that opinion.
Yeah,
you
the
know?
old school, like,
It's most
early
people
2000s.
are not racist.
Yeah,
you know?
the early 2000s, like, they took our jobs. That doesn't really exist anymore. Then it's definitely not coming from the MAGA folks. I mean, the MAGA folks look at the southern border as more of a crime issue. They look at, like you just said, like the fentanyl that comes in, the human trafficking that comes in, and that's their concern there.
Right.
And what is
Valid concern.
What is the Democratic establishment doing? They're taking them on night flights throughout the entire United States.
Yeah.
Okay, number 3. Chaos is something to be exploited, not addressed. I like this one. Nazis. Economic distress is a great political opportunity. MAGA. Economic distress is a great political opportunity. Democrats. Economic distress is a great political opportunity.
Right. What's the name of the guy that used to work for Obama that said never let a good disaster go to waste, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Emil
I don't
Hirsch, or whatever the fuck that guy's name is, right? So that's not it. That's like an actor, I think. But maybe that is his name. And it doesn't matter.
But realistically, you can prescribe that to anybody.
Yeah.
Anybody in politics goes, yeah, of course you don't do that, because that's what politicians do. When there is a need to fill, they go, okay, well, how can I take
What are the
advantage of
Democrats
this?
doing right now? They're actively taking advantage of people who are at the most financially and economically disadvantaged, so that they can get some political gain out of it. They're doing that right now.
Or trying to convince you that you are one of the oppressed.
Yes.
In which case they will take advantage of you. This is not a MAGA thing. Everybody in politics does it, but the Democratic establishment has made a living off of doing it.
Yes.
Okay, number 4. The super rich bankroll the right-wing seizure of power. Nazis. Thanks to IG, whatever, Deutsche Bank, Thyssen, Krupp, etc. Okay, MAGA. Thanks to the Mercers, Einhelms, DeVos, and Thiel, etc. So they're talking about the big money people coming in to take advantage of the situation.
And this is the first one that I actually replied to, and this is maybe the dumbest one out of all of them. Is you're going to try and argue that there aren't enormous money people that are funding the Democrats? That's fucking ridiculous, right?
Bill Gates
is one of the richest people on the planet. Jeff Bezos is one of the richest people on the planet.
Yes.
These people are in fact funding the Democrats, right? Mark Zuckerberg is extremely rich. These people have an enormous amount of money, and they're paying inordinate amounts of money to the Democrats.
And to suppress your liberty.
That's happening all the time, right?
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. Dark money is all over the place.
Amen. Number 5, some people think the fascist threat is overblown. Nazis. While Hitler posed a major threat, some said he ceased to be a political danger. 2 weeks later, he was chancellor. Actually, fact check true on that one, by the way. MAGA. While Trump poses a major threat, maybe people think it's, quote, just politics. No worries. That seems nonsensical, first of all, but if you were to assume that Trump is the fascist danger of the country, I would say just look at what's going on now. The Democratic establishment has proven time and time again that they have no problem colluding or pressuring giant corporations into doing their bidding. And that's where we see Mark Zuckerberg, fucking Berenson, whatever his first name is. Alex Berenson. I mean, Washington Post, all of major media. Everybody does the bidding of the fucking Democratic establishment because they work hand in foot with them. Some would call that's a fucking fascist situation going on there.
Right.
I'm not going to go as far as say we're a fascist state, but
no, I mean, because
Democrats seem to be much more fascist friendly.
Fascism is violence, and I don't. It doesn't seem... Rahm Emanuel, thank you, Joseph, thank you. Emil Hirsch is absolutely an actor. He's absolutely an actor. He totally is. If you Google
Somebody's
him,
getting a bad name right now.
I believe Winston Churchill said it first. So there you go. Yep. So there you go. This speaks even better to the point, right? so the point still stands. Yeah.
Yep. So let's do number 6.
Yeah.
The cult of personality. Nazis. The German army made a pledge of loyalty to Hitler's personality. MAGA. Trump supporters bill him as, quote, the most moral person, end quote, in U.S. history. I'm going to go ahead and just say this.
Nobody has ever said that about Donald Trump.
There has been some form of narrative crafted around loyalty to Trump, and you need to essentially call out your loyalty to Trump before he will officially give you a job.
Yes.
Now, when you put that on comparison, though, to the Democratic establishment, all I got to say is look at former comedian, former senator. Oh, I'm not going to forget his name now.
Al Franken?
Al Franken, who sold his soul to the Democratic devil and was roasted over the fire the minute.
That's true.
And anybody
really
that's attached to that side of the Democratic establishment will be put out to pasture and fucking, you'll be drawn and quartered faster than it took you to sign up to be a part of their team. The minute they have a reason to do so, they do not care about you. And it's happened on a much greater extent than anything that the MAGA folks would have been behind at this point. So it's nonsensical.
No, and I don't think anybody has ever said that Donald Trump is the most moral president ever.
I don't think so
no one
either.
has ever said that,
No.
right? When he starts the
Maybe
whole
Jack
thing with
Posobiec.
grab her by the pussy, no one has ever said he's the most moral president ever. In fact, most people say, I don't really like him as a human being, but the economy, though. That's what the vast majority of Donald Trump people are saying.
Policies.
That's silly.
Exactly.
No one's calling him the most moral president ever.
Exactly. All right, number 7. Christianity is used to legitimize the movement. Nazis. The party stands for positive Christianity. MAGA. Trump is described as, quote, the chosen one, unquote, protecting American Christianity.
The
only
only people who called Donald Trump the chosen one were like the hardcore Q people, right?
Word.
And those people are maybe
a fraction of a percent.
And they're maybe the true definition of MAGA, right? Of like some wild shit, but not the way that Joe Biden met MAGA when he made this speech right before this. That's not the way that he was
not me
talking
and you.
about. No.
God,
no,
no,
I
man.
do not think that Donald Trump is the chosen one.
No. And I would challenge anybody to find that quote, by the way.
No, we talked about Q at one point, and when we did, I said the one thing I can get down with, he's talking about people fucking kids a lot. And that's definitely happening. That's absolutely happening. Is I can get behind the assault on people fucking kids.
Yes.
That's absolutely happening.
Let's do that.
And
Let's fuck those people up.
Yeah, the power structure of abuse on children that happened within Q, we did focus on that, but there was a lot of other shit that were like, this is wild. This is some crazy stuff. I started following those pages just before everyone got just like mass banned.
Oh,
and I was real disappointed. I was seeing some crazy things. And I was seeing a whole side of the internet that I never saw before. And one day it was all gone.
Oh, so sad.
Apparently the Q drops are still happening. I don't know where you can see them, you know.
But don't we know who Q is now?
Yes, that's what when I heard the Q drops are still happening. We know who it is, though. There's a movie
Q
about
is ethereal, bro. He lives in the ether, man.
Yeah.
All right, so number 8. Books are the enemy. Nazis. Any book that, quote, acts subversively on our future, end quote, must be burned. MAGA. I think we should throw these books in a fire, says a Virginia school board member. Pause button there. The books we are talking about are the books that showed blatant pornographic material to children in school libraries. And yeah, I think we should probably throw those things in the fire too. If we're going to be putting them, I don't care if you want to buy them on Amazon. I don't care about any of that. But if you're going to put them in a public establishment,
the ones in the
fuck
school.
that. Fuck all that noise. You don't need to be learning about how to, you know, do explicit sexual activities when you're fucking 3.
No.
You know, 4, 5, 6 years old. You don't need to hear about that for a long time. And then I feel like you should probably just discover that on your own as an adult. But yeah, no. I'm on board with this one. If this is MAGA, let's throw those fucking things in the fire. All right, number 9. An independent news media is the enemy. Nazis. Any newspaper that, quote, offends the honor and dignity of Germany, end quote, must be banned. MAGA. The press is the enemy of the people. Yeah, go ahead, please.
Yeah, because I replied to this one last night, and the corporate press is the enemy of the free people.
Period.
They are the enemy of free and liberty-minded people. They're lying to you all the time. They're gaslighting you consistently. They're every day. They're lying to you. We just went over for fucking 6 hours all the fucking lies that are going on there. It's not good. It is not good. People are making careers out of going over the lies that corporate media is laying out to you.
Yep.
It's horrific, the destruction that they are doing to people, like to free and liberty-minded people. It's horrific.
It is absolutely horrific. All right, and to close it out, number 10, educators are pursued to be politically compliant. Nazis. Teachers took an oath to be, quote, loyal and obedient to Adolf Hitler. MAGA. Florida's Ron DeSantis accuses teachers of, quote, indoctrination and pressures them to avoid references to America's racist history and LGBTQ people. Well, first of all, you're a bigot because you didn't do the LGBT...
Two-spirit, 2S.
Yes.
Yeah,
2S. You did not do that. So you're a
LGBTQIA+.
fucking bigot, Matt Jacob.
You are a piece of shit.
Amen.
Yeah, okay, so my reply to that, we've done fucking whole segments on this, right?
Yes.
There is, in fact, in my belief, right, a minority, but a deeply believing, a very strong-willed Marxist influence going on within education. We did talk about the bill that went on in Florida. I wish that it didn't have to be that way. I don't know that it necessarily does have to be that way, but the people of Florida feel strong enough about it that they are fucking down for it.
Yeah.
So this is not true. There are people that are trying to actively influence our youth. We do, in fact, know that there is Marxist influence coming through our universities and impacting the people that come out of it. Some of those people are naturally, if not intentionally, going to find their way into education. We do know that one of the tenets of Marxism, socialism in general, is to influence the youth. Right? We have seen that through the Red Guard. We have seen that multiple times. We have seen that trying to take place here in America. That is happening. If you deny that, then you're kind of a piece of shit.
Yep. Word.
So
no, I like that.
So where I land on that one.
I'm right there with you. I don't understand. I don't necessarily agree that was particularly the path that needed to be pursued, but also
right.
It did shed a lot of light on a lot of things.
The reaction to it, really, I was almost
Lost friends over it. Can confirm.
Yeah, 100%. The reaction to the bill itself was almost more relevant to the discussion than the bill itself.
Yes.
Like the way that people reacted to it was maybe more relevant because it was so crazy. But like, how am I going to talk about who I fuck in my house in front of my kids now?
I don't understand.
Why? Why do you need to talk about that, right? And that's not to say, because again, there's nothing you can't say, I did this with my husband this weekend. There's nothing that stops you from doing it. Just like there's nothing that stops anyone from saying, I did this with my wife this weekend. That's a weird thing for you to try to say you need to talk about the not even like intimate sexually, but just the details of your relationship with your significant other to children who are in the 5th grade.
And not there to hear that.
And for why?
Exactly.
You know?
And just as wrong as it would be, and this bill also went along with this kind of idea, is like, it would be just as wrong for you to sit there and to pontificate what it was you learned at church this weekend and why that should be the thing. Exactly. That's the way that bill is designed, is to keep teachers on curriculum. Period. Full stop. Doesn't have anything to do with being a Nazi. I'm sorry.
This fucking weird.
This Mark Jacob, bro. I don't know who he thought he was, but bro, whatever it is that you felt like you could pull some quotes out of this fucking book and be like, well, these are why MAGA people are Nazis.
Right.
Wasn't it, bro? Wasn't it?
No, like I said, I tore some of this shit up at 10:45 last night before I went to bed.
Yeah.
I was folding up some laundry, finishing up my notes. I finished everything up last night. Jordan went to bed already. She's like, "You be like, yeah, I'll be in there, like, in a little bit." I'm sitting up watching TV and let's fucking tweet this. Hit up on fucking Twitter real quick. See what the fuck is going on here. It's 10 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? It's 10:30. We'll see what's going on.
That's where shit gets wild,
Strolled through a little bit. It was Mehdi Hassan that put it up on my Twitter. Motherfucker's always tweeting shit that irritates me. Always tweeting shit that gets me fired up.
Yeah.
And you know what? He's interacted with me before, and so I genuinely, before I quote something to his, I'm like, do I want the smoke? Because he'll fucking bring it. He will fucking bring it.
He will.
So I have
He's
to
not
really
afraid.
think. And I respect that about myself because people don't do that on the internet.
That's
I'm like,
right.
do I want the smoke that could come with this? Because if he doesn't like my taking up, he might light me the fuck up.
That's right.
And then I got everybody else coming at me too. How bad do I want this? We've both been the victim of some wild shit on Twitter when you comment on the wrong thing and everyone sees it.
Kaboom.
Yep.
Yep.
Just the wrong news article or something, and it somehow gets to the top reply, and a lot of people see it. For days you'll get hate, and then a couple weeks later you have one person who somehow still sees that fucking. They only go on Twitter once every 6 weeks, and they still somehow saw that because so many people interacted with it, and they're like, "You're a fucking idiot." You're like, God damn it.
Mind you, I get 20 negative comments. I get 10 subs. That's fine.
There you go. Yeah, exactly. That's the real one. Yeah,
that's it, man.
Yeah.
Oh well, word. I think
that's it.
That's
That's all I got.
That's it.
This was a fantastic episode. I want to thank you guys for joining us, for being here for this entire time. Joseph, Deborah, you guys are fantastic.
That's right.
Zeke was here. Ivan was here. No Bilbo Swaggins. He's got to be doing some relay.
He's got to be.
That guy
I hope
here
he is
all the time.
That's right.
We will see him again. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks. 2 weeks from today for a brand new episode of Salt of the Streets.
132 is going to be hot.
It's 133. Today
133.
was 130. Yeah, today was 130. You did 131 all by yourself, big boy.
5 beers,
so,
baby.
yeah. Speak your piece, right or wrong. You'll get your point or get educated. Goddamn right.
Right.
With that, I want to thank you guys again. Remind you, again, share the episode. You guys were commenting all over the place.
That's
like
right.
this. Tell everyone about it. Go to the Patreon. Subscribe to the Patreon. We have the newsletter going on there. We got both our articles. We just put out number 10 just the other day. So there's 10 articles.
You got a lot of reading to get caught up on.
Yeah. One article from each of us that are on there. They're like 3 pages at least. Some of them are a little bit longer. So they're all there. You can see the way that we've progressed, the way that our thoughts have changed. And we also have, obviously, our Instagram. You watching us on YouTube. We have our Patreon, Salted Streets. SaltedStreets.com for all this information. Upper left has all of our music. I think the last person that we were going to pump is... We did everybody. That's all
we did everybody.
Everyone at the beginning.
Yeah. We'll just go ahead and pump me. Make sure to tune in right here next Friday evening.
That's right.
We'll be doing the beer show has evolved at this point, so now I just drink a beer on Fridays and then talk about the latest and greatest news story that I'm pissed off about.
They're good. I like this.
That's what we're doing.
A lot. Yeah,
me too. It's really fun. So it's a live show, so you can do just this whole thing right here that we just did, except it's like an hour at the longest.
Yep.
So be there, be square. It'll be awesome.
Tuesdays are the book club shows.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me.
Next book is
I have it right here, actually. It's called
right.
And the Whole Mountain Burned.
And
It's
the Whole
by Ray
Mountain Burned.
McPadden. It's never too late to get in the book club, so if you guys want to be
Let's
in here,
do boom.
yeah, if you guys want to join. Oh,
Okay,
it
never
froze.
mind.
No, that's all right. We'll
That
go over here.
fucking shit out at the
If
end
you
of the
guys
show.
want to join, we're only a few days in. It's never too late to. Oh, is it upside down?
No, it's fine.
No, oh, there
You're
it was.
upside down.
Oh, Jesus Christ. All right. That's how good this show has been. So, no, it's never too late to join. We got the live streams on Wednesdays, and we have the review preview that comes out on the first day of the month. Go to the YouTube that you've already been here. Go to the channel. Check that out. Along with our other clips, our whole videos, everything. Again, like I said, we got stickers, we got T-shirts, we got everything. Anything you guys want. Let us know. Follow us on Instagram, everything. That's it.
That's it.
Thank you guys very much. You have a fantastic evening.
Yeah.
We love you.
Welcome to the salt of the streets, coming at you every week with this food for thought. Hope you ready to eat everything going on.
Hey everybody, Colin here from Salt the Streets. Thank you for watching today's edition of Salty Shorts. If you liked what you saw, please be sure to check out the full episode right here on the Salt of the Streets YouTube channel. Please give us a like, comment, subscribe, and be sure to share this with all your friends. And you too can become a spreader of the message of liberty. Thanks.
Welcome to the salt of the streets, coming at you every week with this food for thought. Hope you